It's a strange thought, but maybe the biggest mistake people make when trying to manifest is trying. Yep, that's right. Because while you're busy trying to attract something new, you're already, without realizing it, creating all the time. Not just when you meditate, not just when you visualize every single second. The problem, most of what you're creating comes from inner states you don't even know you carry. Or worse, ones you thought you'd already healed. You look at your life and think, nothing changes, I feel stuck. But what if I told you your current life is just a mirror of what you've been feeling and holding on to emotionally? And even in those moments when you say, I want to change, you're still feeding the same mental habits keeping you in the loop. Unconscious manifestation is real, and while that's running the show, nothing you do on the outside will work the way you want it to. Now for the good news. The power is already in your hands. You don't need to learn how to manifest, you just need to learn how to take charge of what you're already manifesting. And that's exactly what we're diving into now. No fluff, no mysticism, just clarity, awareness, and practice. By the end of this, you'll see that conscious manifestation is way more natural than it seems, and a lot more powerful than anyone ever told you. People still think manifestation is some mystical thing you do once in a while, maybe during meditation, or when you really want something. But the truth, and it might sting a little, is that you're manifesting every second, even when you don't notice. There's no on-off switch. Unconscious manifestation is just the default mode when you haven't yet realized that your outer world constantly reflects your inner state. It's always active. As long as you're alive, you're creating. Think of it like a radio that never turns off. It just changes stations depending on where your attention goes. That radio is your awareness. Every thought, every emotional reaction, every quiet belief, they're all sending out a frequency that shapes the reality around you. Even those harmless worries before bed, or the frustration in traffic, they're all feeding into what shows up next. Manifesting consciously means recognizing this non-stop flow and stopping the habit of treating it like something occasional. It's just like breathing. You don't have to think about it. It's happening anyway. But once you become aware of your breath, you can use it to calm your body, shift your mood, change your state. Same with manifestation. Once you realize you're manifesting all the time, not just during a ritual, you step into real power. That's when it clicks why your current reality looks the way it does. Life doesn't lie. Everything around you, your finances, your relationships, your health, is a mirror of what you've been carrying inside. It might hurt to admit, but it's freeing to realize that your current reality isn't punishing you. It's just revealing you. Conscious manifestation starts when you look around and ask, what inside me is keeping this in place? The answer is always internal. We're used to seeing reality as something external and fixed, but it's just the result of inner causes. Your mental habits, repeated emotions, assumptions about life, they're like invisible brushes painting the picture of your world. Some people keep saying, I'm just unlucky, not realizing they're painting the same scene day after day. Attention and creation go hand in hand. Wherever your inner focus is, that's the blueprint for what you're about to live. And here's the kicker. Even people who don't believe in this are still manifesting. Not believing in manifestation doesn't stop you from creating, it only stops you from creating on purpose. When you live on emotional autopilot, it's easy to blame the world, other people, the economy, the weather, anyone but your own internal state. But here's the turning point. If you created all of this without noticing, imagine what you could create with awareness. Creation doesn't stop. Your mind is always processing images, emotions, interpretations, and each of those experiences gets recorded as energy, as a creative frequency. You might not be trying to manifest, but you're still doing it, because imagination creates reality, even when no one's watching. It's like an app running in the background. You don't see it, but it's shaping everything. Ever spent the whole day overthinking a problem, only to have it snowball into more stress? That's not bad luck. That's unconscious manifestation. That emotion you kept fueling, fear, anxiety, jealousy, it gathers momentum and starts pulling in situations that match it. You don't need intention to create. You just need repeated emotional patterns. The universe responds way more to what you consistently feel than what you occasionally ask for. That's why understanding the law of assumption is so important. If you assume something to be true, even without realizing, it starts shaping your life experience. It's like stepping onto a stage and agreeing to play the lead role without ever reading the script. Suddenly, you're living out scenes you don't recognize, but that you picked in the unseen realm. And this happens to everyone, and especially those who don't know they're already on stage. You know those days that feel like a carbon copy of the one before? You wake up in the same mood, complain about the same stuff, feel the same frustrations? That's emotional autopilot in full force. It's when your old mental habits take the wheel and you think you're in control, but you're not. And the scariest part? You're still manifesting every second, just based on the same patterns you've been trying to break free from. This automatic mode doesn't show up overnight. It's built on the stories you've told yourself for years. Stories like, "Nothing ever works out for me," "I always get rejected," or "I'm just not cut out for that." Without realizing it, those sentences become silent commands, and your life starts obeying them. Your body feels it, your brain repeats it, and your reality reflects it. The cycle keeps going until you finally hit pause and say, "Enough." Breaking that cycle means making conscious pauses throughout your day. Just 3 times a day, stop and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now, and is it moving me closer to the life I want? That one question alone can interrupt the loop. Another powerful tool? Journaling. Write out what you're feeling, raw and unfiltered, every day. It gives you clarity on your hidden patterns, and only what's seen can be changed. Speaking of change, it all starts with where your attention rests. Wherever you place your attention, you place your creative energy. And whatever gets your energy grows. Most people spend the day feeding exactly what they don't want, without even noticing. They focus on bills, anxiety, worst-case scenarios, and the universe, which doesn't judge, simply says, "Got it. You want more of that? Here you go." That's why conscious manifestation needs attention and creation to walk hand in hand. Attention is like a spotlight on the stage of your mind. Whatever you shine that light on gets bigger, takes form, becomes part of your physical world. Ever noticed how once you buy a new car, you suddenly see it everywhere? That's not magic. It's your brain's focus filter kicking in. Reality starts to reflect more of whatever you train your mind to see as important, and what's important becomes real. So learning to redirect your attention is a life skill. Instead of reacting on autopilot, pause and ask, what do I want to focus on right now? You can leave sticky notes around the house with phrases like, "I am safe," "Everything is aligning," or "It's already done," or spend 5 minutes a day visualizing scenes from your desired future already happening. Tiny shifts in focus create massive changes, and when that focus meets emotion, your power multiplies. Neville Goddard said it loud and clear, feeling is the secret. It doesn't matter how many affirmations you say if there's no real feeling behind them. Imagination creates reality, yes, but only when feeling acts as the glue that holds it all together. The universe responds to your emotional vibration, not just your rational thoughts. In other words, it's not what you say, it's what you vibe while saying it. Think of it like this. You can repeat "I'm abundant" 1,000 times a day, but if deep down you're still scared to open your banking app, guess what's actually being broadcast? That's right, scarcity. Feeling is the core of manifestation. And here's the good part. You can train new feelings the same way you build new muscles. Start by visualizing scenes that actually move you, like getting great news, a life-changing phone call, or that emotional hug you've been waiting for. Feelings are like energetic signatures. They sign your reality contract with the universe, signaling what's already in motion. So don't underestimate the power of getting emotional about the life you haven't even lived yet. Cry with gratitude in advance. Smile as you visualize it. Hug your future self in your imagination. That's not being delusional. That's a vibrational rehearsal. And the better your rehearsal, the sooner it shows up on the physical stage, especially when you react to life knowing every emotion is a creative act. Most people still think they're only manifesting when they're in a good mood or repeating affirmations, but they miss that every emotional reaction is like planting a seed in the fertile soil of reality. You get angry and feed that anger, you're creating. You get scared and spiral into that fear, you're creating. Unconscious manifestation feeds off of those unchecked reactions every single day. Ever had your whole day thrown off by a silly comment? Or felt anxious for hours after a sudden scare? Even tiny reactions trigger internal states that shape what comes next. Attention and creation are at work even when someone just gives you a weird look and you overthink it all day. If you don't learn to catch and redirect that energy, you stay trapped in an emotional loop, and your reality keeps echoing the same feelings. That's why living in the end takes inner awareness, not perfection, just presence. It's not about never feeling negative emotions. We're human after all. It's about not building a mansion inside them. When you feel a reaction rising, pause, breathe, and ask, is this emotion taking me where I want to go? That alone shifts your power, because what you feel now shapes what comes next. There comes a point when the light bulb goes off. You can't keep living on reaction mode. If manifestation happens every second, then it's time to start choosing, with intention, what you think, feel, and accept as true. That's what conscious manifestation really is. Not some ritual, a daily decision to observe what's running your inner world, and if needed, shift it. Because if you don't take the wheel, emotional autopilot keeps driving. Taking back control is like grabbing the reins of a wild horse that's been running loose. At first, it'll try to run back to the familiar path, but with consistency, it learns. Same with your mind. So start small. Spot one recurring thought that holds you back. That's it. Write it down. Question it. Ask yourself, is this really my belief, or something I picked up along the way? That one practice alone starts unraveling years of conditioning. Neville Goddard used to teach about living in the end, which means assuming right now the inner state of someone who already has what they want. It's an inside job. You don't have to announce it to anyone or change your whole life overnight. You just choose moment by moment what you'll feel instead of just reacting. It may seem subtle, but real power lives in the subtle. And once you master that, even your mental habits become portals to creation. If it's true we're manifesting every second, and it is, then every recurring thought plays an active role in building what we call reality. Mental habits, when left unchecked, become well-worn tracks, but when you look at them with awareness, they turn into creative portals. Think of it like renovating a house. You don't need to tear it all down, just replace the bricks that no longer support the life you want to live. A simple practice. Start your day with carefully chosen affirmations, not random lines but ones that give you that little inner spark. Try things like, I'm safe to thrive, my reality reflects my new state of being, or everything is aligning for my good. Say them and feel them, and if a contradictory thought pops up, great. That's your sign of where the old script is still running and where your transformation is already beginning. Another powerful tool is a conscious imagination break. Pause 3 times a day, close your eyes for just 2 minutes, and imagine a simple scene that represents your desired end. Maybe it's seeing your name on a contract, hearing someone say, "We did it," or even just dancing with joy in your living room. These short mental rehearsals rewire your emotional autopilot with new energetic directions. And before you know it, your outer world starts shifting to match. Now that you understand everything is creation, that feeling is the secret, that attention shapes the visible world, here comes the most powerful shift, living with intention. You can't live on whatever happens anymore, because life will always take you in the direction your vibration is pointing. Conscious manifestation is like driving a car that responds instantly to your internal state. You think, you feel, and the road shifts. Sounds intense. It's exactly what Neville Goddard taught with such clarity. Live in the end. Imagine your desire is already fulfilled. How would you walk? How would you respond to challenges? What would you feel waking up in the morning? That future you already exists, waiting to be accessed through your inner state. And every second you think with intention, feel with purpose, and stay aware, you give form to the invisible. So here's the real challenge, and the real invitation: choose with intention. Choose what to feel even in the middle of chaos. Choose to imagine clearly, even when the outside world screams the opposite. Because manifesting every second is a fact, but manifesting on purpose, that's an art. And that's where your new reality starts taking shape. So what if you decided to start applying this right now, instead of waiting for the perfect moment? Now tell me, knowing you're manifesting every second, are you going to keep creating on autopilot, or finally choose the life you really want to live? Are you going to keep reacting the same way to the same things and expect a new result? Or will you start building, from the inside out, what you actually want to see reflected back? Because yes, your current reality is just a mirror. But what comes next? That's shaped by what you feel right now. And what if you used your attention as a tool, your emotions as the raw material, and your imagination as the architect of a whole new life? What would you choose to experience tomorrow? What state would you choose to hold on to today? Think about it. And hey, tell me in the comments, what emotional habit did you realize you need to shift starting now? If this content made something click for you, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stick around. There's so much powerful stuff coming your way. And trust me, you don't want to manifest it after everyone else already has.